Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and happy International Credit Union Day. We're so happy to have our global credit union champions from around the world join us for another Global Connections webinar to celebrate International Credit Union Day. And it's a special International Credit Union Day as we recognize 75 years of celebrating the incredible transformational work that credit unions all around the world do to advance financial inclusion and continue to strengthen and support communities worldwide. I'm Mike Reiter, Executive Director of the Worldwide Foundation for Credit Unions, and really over the last several years, the Worldwide Foundation, in collaboration with WOCU and CUNA, and of course all of you, continue to leverage the holiday of International Credit Union Day to elevate awareness, to generate a little bit of support, and to come together to celebrate all the amazing things that credit unions everywhere are doing to respond and support member communities. Today, you're going to hear, we have special guests, and today you're going to hear from several beneficiaries of World Council's Economic Inclusion Project, as well as the CEO of one of Ukraine's credit union system's credit union associations. And so after you hear from those individuals, we're going to have some fun interactive games and ways to keep you engaged throughout the webinar. And so we'll start the webinar with an interactive activity and want to invite you to pull out your mobile devices to follow our partners with Play with a Purpose. Dominique from Play with a Purpose is going to connect you with some various instructions on how to elevate some of our engagement throughout the webinar today. Dominique?
Thank you so much, Mike. Yes, we have some fun planned for you guys today. So I'm going to share my screen very quickly so you guys have an opportunity to play along with us for this wonderful day. What you're going to be seeing on your screen is a QR code. What I ask is that you scan that QR code by opening up your camera. You do not need to take a picture of it though. Just open up your camera and then take a view of it, and then it should lead you to a link. Once you're at that link, go ahead and open it up. You're going to see an option to make some drawings with us today, essentially. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to get in there, maybe one or two, so that way everyone has an opportunity to see and play with us today. What you should be seeing on your screen is a question that says, what does ICU Day mean to you? We're going to go ahead and get started and let you draw. What you guys need to know about these questions and about this app essentially is that you have lots of colors to choose from. You can go ahead and adjust the lines to be thick or thin. Words do count as drawings because graffiti is art too. So what we ask you to do is when you're answering this question, think a little bit deeper, go a little bit further than just the initial question. What does it mean to you? All right, it looks like you guys got it figured out. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to reset it a little bit for you. So what you're going to do for me, excuse me one moment there. What you're going to do for me is you're going to actually go ahead and finish the drawing that you just practiced on a little bit. And we're going to start with a different question. That was just a tester question, but we'll get back to that a little bit later. The question you should be seeing now is a little different. You should be seeing a question that says, what do you think the journey from Venezuela to Peru or Ecuador looks like? So in order to draw for this picture, you do have to press done. And then once you press done, you should see the new question pop up. And then you should see this one and you should go ahead and answer that question. Some things that you're going to be thinking about with this question is I want you to think a little bit deeper. What do you think it feels like? What do you think it sounds like? What do you think migrants say to their families? What do you think migrants smell? What do they see? All those deeper constructs than just what is the journey, right? And so as we see these pictures coming in, we can see everyone getting started with their drawings, some details, some very simple. We're going to showcase a couple of these and try to dive a little deeper. So let's see, we got a couple that got started nice and quickly, which is wonderful. These are always fun to take a look at as they're being developed. Definitely very interesting. We'll start with a very basic one over here. We got a beautiful heart. I'm sure that means the love that people felt. Definitely a difficult transition, I'm sure, but the heart, the love, the feeling, that is one that can be sometimes the most important and therefore why we showcase it, right? And then we take a look here. We have other things like, let's see, let's promote this one right here. We have people, we have hearts, maybe some squiggly lines just to represent confusion, to represent how the feeling is disconnected. Definitely can see that being a feeling that everyone can relate to. A sad face with crying. I'm sure this is a feeling that is very mutual for the people that travel in this way in this world. Getting from one place to another, definitely a difficult transition. We have a lot of arrows going in a certain direction. We have a lot of colors. And this one in particular, it kind of shows you the divide. And I'm guessing the mountains. For those of you who are drawing with us, you can write in the chat if you have something in particular about your drawing that you'd like to share, and we can showcase that. Give you guys another moment to keep drawing with us today. These are looking wonderful. And like I mentioned, you don't have to be very detailed. You don't have to be a good drawer. The point of this exercise is more to convey what you're feeling or what you feel the image journey feels like. But we got some great images here. Let's take a look at this one. I see a family of 3 crossing the mountains, possibly a river, lots of terrain, definitely makes some difficult decisions that need to be made there. This one has some great detail. I see the suitcases, the family. Oh, this one's wonderful. Whoever drew this, hope going up. Yes, absolutely. I can see that being one of the main feelings, how the journey really, really felt, going from one place to another. Sure, starting down at the bottom slope, but making your way up. The hope goes up as you're going somewhere even bigger and better with a brighter future. More and more drawings are joining us, so I want to let you guys keep drawing so we can see some more choices here. As a reminder, you guys can actually change the way that the pictures are drawn. On the bottom of your screen there, you can make the lines thinner or thicker. I always recommend when you're drawing with us that you start with the colors you want to use and then outline with black at the very end if you want to make a bold picture. Wonderful. Seeing a lot of options here. Oh, this is a new one. A 4-leaf clover. For those of you who don't know, a 4-leaf clover typically represents luck. Still being drawn out. I'm curious to see what it turns into. We'll come back and check on that later. So for those of you who are just starting to draw, go ahead and keep thinking a little bit more deeper into the journey, right? What do you think it sounded like? I didn't seem, it's hard to draw sounds, that's for sure. But what did it sound like? What do you think the families were feeling? What do you think they saw? What do you think they smelled on the journey? I think we got a couple of those on here for sure. Hey, we got some very clear words, long, hot, hard, 100%, absolutely, very valid. And this one, scary but hopeful, broken hearts, getting the terrain, not knowing where they're going. This is wonderful. Sad faces all around, but also lots of happy faces, right? And I think that's what we need to look at here more than anything else is that overall, it is a scary journey, but it's a happy one because the hope is there. And we've seen that with a lot of these, which is wonderful. Oh, this one is great. This is a great image here. Sadness, but happiness, hearts, probably families and love. And then we have in the chat, someone did say that those migrating from Venezuela are largely families leaving not because they want to, but because there's little to no options left and the journey is not easy. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. And we can see that with these images here, that a lot of people feel the same way. Difficult journey with the hope that the journey will land you somewhere even bigger and better and brighter. Horseshoe, lots of luck here. I saw the word believe a couple times. Yes, absolutely. Still got some people drawing for us. Let's look back at the bottom here to see some others that we saw. Sad faces, boats, mountains for forever. Wonderful. We got a nice sunshine view over here. Hope for the future. Feel free to keep trying if you guys have another image you'd like to add to this. We're going to discuss it a little bit more, but you have the opportunity to keep drawing if you'd like. This one has a lot of different colors being utilized. The lighter colors, whether you're realizing subconsciously or not, can represent a lot of different things, the colors that you choose. Darker colors meaning things like sadness, hurt, fear, and the lighter colors meaning things like hope, happiness, lightness, right? Cleanliness, but also just the idea of things getting better. So an image like this where they chose lighter colors kind of shows me that the hope is there, whether they knew it or not, right? The mountains are treacherous, but with the person being in lighter colors here, and that we have the star at the end, a goal to hit to, definitely makes it seem that even though it was difficult, they had hope in the end, which is wonderful. Got some nice words here, Forza. And then Economic Inclusion Project. Wonderful. And like I said, words, graffiti, that is art as well. Sometimes a picture with words is worth 1,000 words. Amazing. Well, you guys all did a wonderful job drawing with me today with this first question. This is going to allow us to kind of dive into the next portion of this video today, of this call today. I will be handing this off to Abby and into intro what's going to be happening next. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You are all more than welcome to, of course, keep drawing, but it will be stopped for right now. All right, Abby, and I take it off to you.
Great. Thank you, Dominique, for leading us through that exercise. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here to celebrate International Credit Union Day. My name is Abby Cohen, and I am the Program Manager for Latin America at WOCU, supporting the Economic Inclusion Project, or EIP. EIP is a 6-year, $28 million project funded by the United States Agency for International Development and implemented by WOCU. The project is designed to improve socioeconomic security for Venezuelan migrants and refugees, as well as local populations in Peru and Ecuador. Specifically, EIP has 3 objectives: to support and strengthen new and existing entrepreneurs, to facilitate access to employment, and to increase financial inclusion through access to financial products and services. EIP works with more than 50 partners in Peru and Ecuador to close the gaps and reduce barriers to financial and economic inclusion. As of September 2023, EIP has provided over 13,000 individuals with employment or entrepreneurship support, and the average percentage change in income for EIP participants is almost a 26% increase. EIP has provided assistance to more than 2,500 Venezuelans to revalidate their professional or technical degrees or certifications in their new host country, and has worked with credit unions and other financial entity partners to support almost 124,000 individuals in accessing financial services. In addition to having a project component dedicated to supporting survivors of gender-based violence to achieve economic autonomy, EIP has also integrated gender inclusion throughout project activities, working to close the gender gap. 72% of participants in EIP's entrepreneurship and employment activities are women, and 54% of individuals benefiting from EIP's financial inclusion activities are women. This morning, we're very excited to have 2 impressive Venezuelan women who have participated in EIP programming with us to share their stories. Mariamer Paredes is a Venezuelan entrepreneur who has been living in Quito, Ecuador for 5 years. She participated in EIP entrepreneurship programming and won seed capital to support the development of her business, Mateo's World Burgers, and received support from EIP to open a savings account and access credit at a partner credit union in Ecuador. Thank you, Mariamer, for being here this morning to share your experience with us. Adelante.
¿Cómo están? Buen día con todos.
How are
Mi nombre es
you?
María
Good
Mar Paredes.
morning. I am Maria
Tengo
Mar
32 años.
Paredes. I am
Soy mamá de
32
un niño
years
de
old.
5
I am
años
the
nacido acá en
mother of a
Ecuador.
5-year-old born
Y
here in
vengo de
Ecuador,
Venezuela, provengo
and
de
I come
Venezuela
from
y llegué
Venezuela,
acá a
and I
Ecuador en el
arrived
año
here in
2017
Ecuador
junto a mi
in
esposo. Llegamos
2017
con un
with my
pequeño capital de
husband
150
with a
dólares
small
para nosotros
capital of
poder subsistir hasta poder
$150
conseguir un empleo.
and to
Em,
survive until we got
Nos recibieron unos
a
familiares
job.
de él
We
en su
were
casa.
met by
Ahí estuvimos
relatives
un
of
tiempo
him
durmiendo en
where
una pequeña
we
sala
stayed
blanca y
at their
aislada.
home
Ahí
and we
dormíamos en esa sala
slept
en unos
in
cartoncitos.
on
Luego de un
pieces of
tiempo ya nos
cardboard
pudimos
on the floor in
independizar
their living room.
y nos
That
pegó
was
bastante
very
esta
cool.
independización
We were
porque me
able
entero que estoy embarazada
to
y al movernos a mi cuarto nos
to
tocó
move
ciertos
out, but I
gastos
found out that I was
necesarios
pregnant.
e
And at the
importantes
time of the
y no
delivery,
teníamos los
we
recursos.
had major expenses and we
Posteriormente,
didn't have the
tratamos
resources
de
to
seguir
pay for them.
echándole
We
ganas
tried
y veíamos
to,
que no nos alcanzaba el
we
dinero,
push
prácticamente vivíamos de centavos
forward
y nuestra
and
situación
the
económica
money
no era
was
la
never
mejor.
enough. We lived
Sin
off cents,
embargo, al
very
cabo de un
bad
tiempo, mi
economic
esposo
situation.
obtuvo
But after a
su
while,
primer empleo
my
fijo,
husband got his first
asegurado, y justo entra la pandemia.
stable job,
Nos
and
entra la
then the
pandemia y
pandemic
solo un mes duró
happened,
este empleo
and
de
that
demanda
job only lasted
y
1
solo
month,
nos veíamos las
and
caras
he
con
was
apenas
fired,
$20 de
and
capital,
we had
pensando qué hacer
only
para subsistir y
$20.
solventar nuestras
And we
necesidades.
said, how can we
Los vecinos de nuestro sector, yo vivo por sur de
survive?
Quito,
And
organizan
the
grupos
neighbors,
para
and I live
justamente
in the south of
vender,
Quito,
proveer alguna cosa
organized
para
group
poder subsistir entre
to
nosotros. Entonces dijimos,
for
bueno, vamos a
subsistence
invertir estos $20
purposes.
en la
So we
hamburguesa,
invested the $20
inventémonos
in
unas
the
hamburguesas y
hamburgers.
vendamos.
Let's come up with hamburgers
Entonces
and let's sell them.
incentivamos
And
esto, comenzamos a
we
presentar y a vender
started
nuestras
to
hamburguesas
promote
casa a casa a
this
nuestros
and
vecinos.
sell our
Les gustó, les
hamburgers from
encantó, por
house
el
to
boca a boca
house
nos
to
recomiendan
our
con sus familiares y
neighbors,
amigos y
and
ahí
by
comenzamos a
voice of
hacer
mouth. By word of
objeto
mouth,
de
we
pedidos
got
en varias partes.
recommendations and
Vimos que nos iba
orders
yendo
from
bien,
several
entonces comenzamos
people,
a
and
pagar
we did
publicidad
very
en
well.
Facebook.
We began to
Entonces
pay for
ahí comenzamos a
advertisement
llegar
in
al norte,
Facebook,
al centro
and
y al
we
sur de
got to
Quito.
the north, center, and
Buenas.
south of
Entonces
Quito.
dijimos, bueno,
So
¿qué
we
podemos
said,
hacer?
well,
Una
what
amiga
can
me
we
comenta y
do?
me
A
dice, ¿sabes
friend
que
told
hay un
me
proyecto de inclusión
there
económica
is
en Ecuador?
an economic
Ellos están
inclusion
impartiendo
project in
capacitaciones, ¿por qué
Woku.
no te
They are
animas?
providing
Entonces yo
training.
le
Why
digo,
don't
bueno,
you
¿y
join
qué
it?
puedo hacer también allí? No,
What
allí
can
te
I
ayudan a
do
crear tu plan
there?
de
They help
negocio y no sé
you
qué,
to
y hasta puedes participar
build
en una
your
campaña
business
semilla.
plan,
Bueno,
and
me
they can
animo.
also give you
Ahí
some
me
seed
capacito,
capital.
ganamos capital
And
semilla,
so I got the
sigo todo el
training, the
webinar, las
seed
capacitaciones y es
capital,
aquí donde
I
nuestro
did the
negocio dio un giro de
webinars and
360 grados.
our
¿Por
training, and
qué?
this is
Porque
where our
establecimos
business took a
muchos puntos que
360
estaban vacíos.
turn. We
Esto
filled
comenzó a
a
tener
lot of gaps,
proyecciones a
and
futuro.
this
Aprendimos a
started
establecer
to
nuestros costos.
give us
Aprendimos
projections to the future. We
técnicas, muchas
established our
cosas
costs.
buenas que
We
aportaron a través
learned
de
a lot
todas
of good things
las
provided
prácticas que se hicieron
throughout
durante
the
las
practices
capacitaciones
that were
para que
done
este
through
negocio
the
pudiera
training
ser
sessions
rentable.
so that the business could be
Entonces,
profitable.
aquí fue un punto muy
So
importante para
this was
nosotros
a
porque
very
tuvimos
important point to
un
us.
puesto
This
en el
is
mercado.
where
Nos dimos a
we
conocer por un buen
got
público.
a place in the
Aparte,
market.
adquirimos
We
contactos.
got a
Hoy
good
por hoy yo me sigo
target
capacitando y sigo
audience,
empapándome cada
and
vez
we
más de
got
todas
a
las
contact
actividades financieras que desarrolla
network,
Woco.
and I continue
Y
to
aparte de
train
esto, tuvimos
and
la oportunidad de
participate in
participar en
all
algunas
financial
ferias.
activities of
Entonces,
Woku.
en estas
We've
ferias
also
nosotros íbamos, mira,
participated in
adquiriendo ciertas
fairs,
ganancias. ¿Qué hicimos
and
con las
we
ganancias? Las
got
ganancias
a
nosotros
certain
solo las
profit
invertimos en
from that,
maquinaria,
which
en
we
equipo de
invested in
trabajo y en
machinery,
materia prima.
in work
¿Para qué?
equipment,
Con el
and
único fin de que en un futuro nosotros
raw
pudiéramos aperturar al
materials
fin
so
un
that
local
we
físico.
could open
Entonces,
a
en el
physical
2022
location,
llega
a
un reto.
brick and
¿Cuál
mortar
reto
one.
es?
So
Pues tocar
then
puerta a puerta
in
cada entidad financiera y
2022, we
cooperativa
had
para
a
poder solicitar
challenge
un
of
crédito y este sea aprobado.
knocking on the doors
La
of
verdad
financial
fue una etapa muy
institutions
frustrante
and
para
credit
nosotros,
unions to
honestamente,
get
porque
credit.
el hecho de
It was
acercarnos a las
very
entidades, armar
frustrating
la
when we
carpeta,
went to
conseguir
the
el montón
financial
de requisitos que te
institutions. We
pedían,
built
conseguir
our
una persona que te
folders.
sirviera de
We
garante. Es
met all
muy
the
complicado.
requirements. We got
Y
a
Y el hecho de que te
guarantor,
digan que no,
and they
no,
told
no fue
us,
aprobado
no,
porque es
it was not
extranjero,
approved
porque
because
no
you
tiene una
are a
residencia
foreigner,
permanente, porque
you
no tiene
don't
una
have
cédula
permanent
permanente, no tiene una
residency,
ciudadanía, no
you
tiene un
don't have
patrimonio.
the
Y para de contar el
citizenship, you
montón
don't
de
have
peros con
a
los que me encontré.
permanent national
Fue
ID
bastante frustrante.
card, so it was
Al fin y
very
al cabo, llega un tiempo
frustrating.
en que entre tantas
At
actividades
the
que sí hemos
end,
intentado
among all
ofrecer
the
para
activities in which
Boku,
we have
nos
attended
encontramos
from
en un
Woku,
evento y
we
allí ha estado
ran,
el presidente de la
we
cooperativa
were
Tucán.
at an event
Nos presentaron la
that day
cooperativa
was
y yo ya recelosa les digo, "Mire,
attended by
¿saben
the
qué? Esto es lo que
Turkish
tenemos, esto es
credit
lo que
union,
necesitamos
and we said, this is what we
y
have, this is what
es
we
lo
need,
que hay.
and
Dígame sí o
tell
no".
us yes or
La
no.
cooperativa nos cita al banco,
The
allí
credit
firmamos, hacemos
union
la tarjeta.
gave us
Al
an
cabo de una
appointment.
semana
We
nos
took
llaman y nos
our
dicen para
business
hacernos la
plan
inspección.
and they
Nos hacen la
called us
inspección
and to do
y
an
al cabo de 10
inspection.
días nos llaman para
And 10
decirnos que
days
nuestro
after
crédito
the
ha sido
inspection, they
aprobado sin
told us that our
garante
credit had
y
been
para
approved
nosotros fue la alegría más
without
grande.
a
Primero
guarantor.
por
And
el
it
hecho de
was
que
such a
tocar
joy.
tantas puertas y
First,
tantos
because
no
after knocking so many
fue algo
doors
muy,
and
muy
getting so
maravilloso que
many
sentimos ese
no's,
día.
this was very wonderful what
Posterior
we
a
felt
esto,
that day. After
aquí fue el
that,
complemento
this was the
esencial.
complement,
El
the
hecho de aprobar
essential
este crédito
complement, the
para
fact that
nosotros
we
fue
got the
lo que nos
credit
faltaba
approved.
para
It
complementar
was
el
what we
objetivo, que
needed
era abrir
to
nuestro primer
fulfill
local.
our objective, which was to
Eh,
open our
Hoy
first
por
brick
hoy
and mortar
ya hemos abierto
location.
nuestro primer local,
So we
lo
opened our
inauguramos el
first
26 de
restaurant.
julio con la
We
bendición de Dios.
inaugurated it on
Mateo
July the
Hamburger
26th
tiene
with
ya
God's blessing.
aproximadamente
Mateo
desde pandemia arrancó.
burger, and that
Arrancó con un
started
pequeño
as of
cochecito,
the
hoy por hoy
pandemic
tenemos
with
una
a
plancha
small little
inmensota,
cart.
un
Now
local
we have
hermoso,
a
un
huge
público y una
grill,
cantidad de
a
clientes que hoy
beautiful
por hoy nos siguen
establishment,
recomendando, dicen que
good
nuestro producto es
customer
espectacular.
base, and people who
En las ferias que
recommend us, who
asistimos, la
say that
compra es
our
masiva por
products
la
are
misma aceptación del
spectacular. In
producto
the
y es algo que
fairs,
nos
we
llena
get
mucho.
massive sales
Luego
and good
inauguramos nuestro
acceptance
local.
from
Por
the
cierto,
public.
estamos
We
ubicados en el sur de
inaugurated
Quito, en la
our
avenida Cardenal de la Torre,
location in
sentido
Avenue
sur-norte, a
Cardenal
pocos
de
metros de
la
la cooperativa Maquita.
Torre in the
Y hoy
south
por
of
hoy puedo
Quito,
decir
close
que
to the
gracias a este
Maquita
aporte de
Credit
la
Union.
cooperativa y
And
su
thanks to
confianza,
this
hemos dado pie a que nuestra
support,
visión se mantenga, la cual
our
es ser
vision
una
has
red
been
de
maintained,
restaurantes altamente
which is to
reconocida
be a highly
por la variedad de
recognized
producto,
network
por
of
la calidad de su
restaurants,
producto, por
recognized
la
for the
excelencia en
variety
precios y
of products,
por
excellent
la
price,
atención prestada.
the quality of the
Em,
product, and the
Además de
service that
esto,
we
puedo
provide. In
acotar
addition to this, I
que
could
me
also
doy cuenta que
mention
los
that I
sueños
realize that
no son solo
dreams
sueños,
are not
simplemente son
only
cosas que
dreams.
nosotros
They
poniendo
are
esfuerzo,
things that
yo
if
siempre le
we
digo a cada
put
persona,
forth our
esto
best
que es
effort,
hoy Mateo's Burger
is what
es
we
algo
have.
hecho con mucho
Mateo
esfuerzo,
Burger is
dedicación,
something done
constancia
with a
y ha
lot of
sido
effort,
fruto de muchos no,
dedication,
de muchos
persistence,
errores,
and
de
after
muchas
many
caídas,
no's, many
pero con la convicción de que esto va a ser muy
errors,
grande.
many
El día
faults,
de hoy
but
tenemos nuestro
with
primer
the
local,
conviction that
aspiramos
this
ya el
was going
próximo
to
año
be
ser
big.
segundo, el
Now we
tercero,
have
el
our
cuarto,
first
y
establishment,
estemos en
maybe
todo el
next year we'll
país
have the
y quizás
second
hasta
one, and
fuera
then the
de este
third,
país
the
también.
fourth, and will be throughout the
Yo
country and
soy una
maybe
persona
outside
que
the country. I
doy
am
fe,
an
doy
individual
fe
that
que
attests to
siempre se
the
nos abren las
fact
puertas.
that
Hoy por hoy,
doors
Mateo Burger es
always
moto
open.
que está
Mateo
puntual con todos sus
Burger
pagos, tanto en casas
is
comerciales, con la misma
has
cooperativa,
made all the
para dar
payment
pie y darle
on
puerta abierta a
time
otros
at the credit
compañeros que el
unions
día de
with the
hoy quieran
providers
pedir alguna ayuda
to
a alguna
help
entidad bancaria y quieran
our
impulsar sus negocios,
other
algún
people
proyecto que
like
tengan en
us who
mente,
want to
es
ask
muy
for
importante.
support from a
Entonces
financial
yo
institution
digo,
to promote a
es
business.
importante
So
que
it's
estar
very
en un país ajeno
important
donde te dan la
if
oportunidad
you are in
personas
a foreign
extrañas a
country
ti que no
and
te
be
conocen, pero
given
el
the
día de hoy te hacen
opportunity,
conocer
people who do not
como
know,
persona, como ser humano, como
now they
emprendedor,
know you as a person,
y
as
el
an
hecho de estar al pie
entrepreneur,
de la letra con
and
tus impuestos,
to
con tus pagos, con todo,
pay your
eso te abre
taxes,
puertas,
to
te
make
abre
your
muchas
payments,
puertas.
opens
Entonces,
doors, a
yo
lot
pienso
of
que haciendo el
doors. So
bien y
I
haciendo,
think
dando
that
lo mejor
by
de nosotros,
doing that which is good,
eso
giving our
es algo
best,
que el universo
it's
como que lo
something that
respira y
the
dice, toma,
universe
te lo
breathes
mereces.
it and gives
Entonces,
it
como
back to
mamá,
you
como
because you
mujer, como
deserve it as
emprendedora,
a
como venezolana,
mother,
lo que les puedo
as
decir
a
a todos los
woman, as an
docentes que los
entrepreneur,
sueños son
and as a
posibles. No
Venezuelan.
hay nada
I
imposible
can
en este
tell
mundo,
all the
nada en
attendees
absoluto.
that
Siempre que
dreams are
tengamos las ganas,
possible.
la
There's nothing
dedicación
impossible
y
if
la
we have dedication and an open mind to take on these challenges every everything
mí,
is
de mi esposo, de
possible.
todo
I
lo
am
que hemos
very
logrado
proud of
y me
myself,
siento
of my
sumamente
husband,
agradecida
everything
cada
that
una
we've
de las
achieved,
personas que
and I'm
están acá
very
presentes
grateful
por
with
darnos
each
la
and every
oportunidad
one
de
of you
creer
for
en
giving us the
nosotros y seguirle
opportunity
dando la
to
oportunidad
believe
a
in
muchas más
ourselves
personas
and to give the
a
opportunity to
crecer,
many other
a
people so
avanzar,
that they can
a
also
escalar
grow, they
y
can
ser lo que
advance,
hoy
they
quieran ser.
can
Les
scale
agradezco
up
muchísimo.
and be what they want to be. Thank you
Thank
so
you so much, Mariama, for sharing your story with us today. Congratulations on the success of your business, and we wish you and your family much continued growth. Now turning to our second beneficiary, Astrid Dun is a Venezuelan dentist who has been living in Lima, Peru for 4 years. She received support from EIP to revalidate her degree and professional affiliation to practice dentistry in Peru. And she has also received support from EIP to access financial services from an EIP partner financial entity. Thank you, Astrid, for joining us today to share your story. Adelante.
Buenos días.
Good
Mi
morning.
nombre es Astrid Dun,
My
soy
name is
odontólogo
Astrid
venezolano.
Dun. I
Es
am
un
a
placer para
Venezuelan
mí estar
dentist.
aquí
It is a pleasure
y
for
poder
me to
hablarles
be
sobre mi
here and to
experiencia
speak
migratoria.
about my migrant
Realmente
experience. In
inicio
reality,
contándoles, gracias por la invitación,
and thank you
inicio
for the
contándoles que salí de
invitation. I would like
Venezuela
to
en
tell you that I left
2018 hacia
Venezuela in
Argentina
2018,
con una niña de 7 años,
bound for
con todos mis
Argentina with
documentos
a
en regla, pues mi
7-year-old with
migración
all
fue
my papers
planificada, todos los
in
documentos habían
order.
fallado
My
al inicio
migration
y
was
ustedes fueron por cumplir.
was
Realmente tenía objetivos claros y precisos
orderly. I had all the
y
apostille.
me
I
tocó
had
llegar a Perú.
clear objectives.
Soy
I
víctima de
ended
la
up in
delincuencia,
Peru. I
me
am a
roban
victim
y es
of
cuando comienza una
crime.
migración totalmente distinta a la planificada.
This thief stole from me, and my
Me veo y digo,
experience
tengo una
was so
niña,
different than
7
what I had
años,
planned. I have a 7-year-old,
$20 y estoy en un
$20
país a
in
que no
my
conozco a
pocket,
nadie.
and I'm in a country where I
Solo
do
miré
not
al
know
cielo
anyone. I look
y
up to the
dije, no
skies
voy a
and I
preguntar por
said,
qué,
I'm not going to
solo
ask
sé que en
why.
ti
I
confío.
only know that I trust in you, my
Realmente en ese
God. And
momento
at that time,
mis fibras se
my
entrelazaron porque
fibers
sabía que mi migración se había
bound
convertido en un
because my
proceso donde sabía que iba a
migration had
necesitar de
turned into
muchísimo
a
valor
process where I was
para
going to,
cambiarla a mi
where I
favor.
knew that I needed a lot of
Tenía
cash to
que
shift
estaba
things in
clara,
my
totalmente
favor.
clara que tenía
I
que,
had
por llevar a mi hija,
clarity
porque no es lo mismo
because I
cuando uno
had my
está
girl
solo,
with
¿no?
me. It's not the
El
same as
andar con
when you are
ella,
on your own.
sabía que
Because I
tenía que
was with
enfrentarme a
her,
mis propios miedos
I knew that I
y
had to
sacar esa
face
fuerza
my
que
own
no conocía.
fears and bring out that strength that I
Siento
didn't know I
que a
had.
pesar de
I
todo fui
feel that
bendecida.
despite everything,
Conocí en
I
aquel
was blessed
momento
at
a
the
una
time.
persona
I
peruana
met a Peruvian
quien me brindó la
national
oportunidad
who gave
y
me
me
the
lleva donde una
opportunity
familia
and took
para
me to a
trabajar de
family
limpieza.
to work
Realmente
as a cleaning lady.
siempre soy una persona
I
convencida que el
am
agradecimiento todo lo
convinced
puede.
that
El
gratefulness
estar con mi
can
hija, el
make
que mi esposo hubiese
everything
pasado algo
possible.
peor
The fact that I could
y el
still be with
encontrar
my daughter,
trabajo me
that
abría las
something worse
puertas
didn't
para
happen to us,
sobrevivir en aquel
and
momento.
finding that job allowed me to survive at
Me
that
permiten trabajar,
and
pero la
they
dueña me
allowed me
dice,
to
yo
work
prefiero que
for
te
the
quedes a vivir.
owner of the house said,
Ya el
well,
permitirme
I'd
estar
rather
ahí
have
con mi
you
hija, para mí
taking
era
care
ganancia.
of my grandchild and
Ellos me
allowing
abrieron
me
las
to
puertas de
stay in
su
their
hogar
house when my
para
daughter
cuidar
was
a lo más
already
valioso que
a
puede
win
uno
for
tener, que
me.
son nuestros hijos, ¿no?
And
Y
they
hacerlo
opened the
alguien
doors of their
desconocido de un
home
país
to allow
distinto
me
no
to
es fácil.
care for
Sin
the most valuable thing
embargo,
I have,
confié
with
en que
my
mi buena
child.
voluntad
And
me
in a
iba
foreign country, this is
iba a prevalecer.
what
Y así
this
fue.
goodwill
Hoy día son
prevail.
mis pacientes
And
y mis
now
amigos.
they are my patients
En ese
and my
momento,
friends. At the time,
por supuesto, no contaba con
I
ninguna
didn't have
oportunidad
any
laboral
labor
reconocida, ¿no?
opportunity recognized.
Financieramente todo cerrado. Estaba de una
Financially,
manera
all doors
irregular, no
closed
tenía
because I
dinero
was
para
illegally,
colegiarme, por más que
I
tenía mis
didn't have
documentos en regla.
money to
Y
get
tenía una niña que
more
sostener
schooling,
sin
even
dinero.
though I had my
Entonces,
diplomas, and I had a girl to support
esa
with no money.
situación
So this
me llevó
situation
a
took me
ser
to
fuerte, a ser firme en mis
being
decisiones y
strong,
actuar de una
to
manera
be firm
congruente.
in my decisions and act in a
Al año
consistent manner.
aproximadamente
A
de
year
estar
later,
trabajando con
after
ellos, una
working
amiga
with
me
this
dice,
family, a friend
en las
told me,
redes vi que
in
publicó una
the
organización
social media, an
llamando a los profesionales
organization
de diversas
called
carreras a colegiarse.
made a
¿Qué tal
calling
si tocas
from
la puerta?
different
Yo dije sí,
careers to
por
get
supuesto,
additional
sé que es
schooling.
mi
Why don't you
momento, ¿no?
knock on their door?
Inmediatamente
And
escribí
I
y
know
tuve la
the time
respuesta
had
positiva.
come. I
Me van a
wrote
ayudar.
and I got a
Ahí
positive
supe
response. They're
que
going
mi
to
oportunidad había
support me.
llegado.
And I
Esa
knew
que
that
tanto
my
le pedí a Dios
opportunity had
encarecidamente
arrived. That one that I
porque
had
no fue
asked God
fácil. De
so
verdad,
intensely
uno tiene
for. It wasn't
que
easy.
tener mucha fe,
You need
mucha
to have a
esperanza
lot of faith, a
para
lot
poder
of hope
mantenerte
to be
en pie de
able
lucha,
to
sin decaer.
continue the fight and not
Eso me permitió entender
be
que el amor
discouraged.
todo lo
So
puede.
love
Ese
can
amor a mis hijos
achieve everything.
me
The
llevaron
love
a
for my
sostenerme
children
y a
allow
avanzar
me
a
to
paso de
maintain my
vencedor.
strength and to continue
Woku
to press on.
después
Woku
me hizo un llamado, me
called me,
colegia, me
gave
da la
me
oportunidad de
training,
colegiarme,
gave me the
me
opportunity,
presenta las
the
diferentes cooperativas para poder
opportunity
obtener
to get
crédito
more
y
education
adicional
and
me
introduce
regala o me
to
da un
the credit
aporte
unions
para
to get
tener
credit
un
and
capital
gave me
semilla. A estos
seed
3
capital
episodios yo
to
los
do this
llamo el gran milagro.
3
Y les
episodes.
digo
I call
esto
the
porque
big
desde
miracle.
ese momento
And I
hay
say
un
this because
antes
as of
y
that
un
time
después.
on, there is
Fue
that
algo
was
así como
the
cuando unos angelitos
inflection point.
te
It's
llevan de
like
la
when
mano
angels
y
take you
después te
by the
dicen,
hand
toma,
and
aquí
then
tienes
they
las
tell you,
alas,
here, here
ahora
are your
te toca
wings.
volar.
And
Ahora
now
te
is
toca
your time to
demostrar
fly.
de que
Now is
valió
your
la
time
pena
to
todo este
demonstrate
sacrificio
that
y todo
all the
este transitar,
sacrifice
porque detrás
was
de todo
worthwhile.
siempre hay un propósito.
Because behind
Hasta
everything
el
there is
momento
always
puedo
a
resumir mi
purpose.
vida
I can
migratoria
summarize my
en diferentes
migrant
experiencias
life
basadas
in
en
different
trabajo,
experiences based
muchísimo
on work, a
sacrificio,
lot of
esfuerzo,
sacrifice,
honestidad,
effort,
pero
honesty,
sobre todo
but
fe,
also,
esperanza y
or
amor.
above all, faith, hope,
Les
and
estaré de verdad
I
eternamente
will
agradecida.
eternally be grateful to
No
you.
sé
I
cómo
do
sería
not
mi
know
historia
how my
en este
story
momento de no
would
haber
have
tenido
unfolded if
esta
I did not
oportunidad
have had
de
this
cambiar
opportunity
esta
of
historia.
changing this
Mi
story.
forma
The way
de
in
manifestarles
which I can
mi
express
agradecimiento es decirle que
my
detrás de mí
gratitude
hay
is
muchos
by
profesionales,
telling
muchos
you that
emprendedores
behind me there are
con
many
muchísimas ganas de
professionals,
salir adelante.
entrepreneurs with
Solo
a
esperan
lot of
oportunidades.
will to move ahead.
Definitivamente estoy
Just waiting
convencida
for the
de
opportunity. I am
de
convinced
que
that
Dios tiene un propósito en
God
cada
has
uno de
a
nosotros
purpose for each and every
y
one
que
of us,
todo lo que
and
hagamos, todo
that
lo que hagamos aquí
everything
en la
that we
tierra
do
hará eco en la
here on
eternidad.
earth
Por
will
eso mi
have
eterno
will
agradecimiento
echo in eternity, my
y
eternal
mi
gratitude
disposición a
and
colaborar
my
siempre para lo que
willingness to
necesiten.
always
Muchísimas
cooperate
gracias.
in everything that you need. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Astrid. Congratulations on your professional accomplishments and your very inspirational story. And we wish you much continued success. Thank you both, Astrid and Mariamer, for taking the time to be with us this morning and for sharing your inspirational stories. We wish you and your families all the best. Now back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Abby. And again, to echo Abby's words, thank you, ladies, for sharing your story of resilience and strength and grit as you continue to grow your businesses and support your family through credit union support in Peru and Ecuador. For those of you on the webinar today that have been global champions of the Worldwide Foundation, you know that we have stood with Ukraine and Ukraine's credit union system since February of 2022 as their communities, the nation, and Ukraine's credit unions continue to support member communities and the greater good of Ukraine in the face of Russian aggression and Russian military action. And it's been a true privilege and honor to be working with Alyssa Stetstichin, our Worldwide Foundation grants manager, Marcy Chaco, our philanthropy manager at the Worldwide Foundation, and of course, both associations of the Ukraine's credit union system, but we have a special guest, a privilege to have Miss Olga Tugay, the president of AUCUA, with us here today to share her narrative and story of how Worldwide Foundation's Ukrainian Credit Union Displacement Fund grant programs have continued to support Ukraine's credit unions through this difficult time. Alyssa?
Good morning, everyone. We're going to have some more translation today, not only simultaneous. Hopefully, our Spanish-speaking colleagues will be able to hear what Olga will say in Ukrainian after I translate into English, then in Spanish. So we've been working in Ukraine for long, the World Council and the Worldwide Foundation for Credit Unions, and we have the USAID-funded Credit for Agricultural Producers project. And as the full-scale invasion started, the Worldwide Foundation has also launched the Ukrainian Credit Union Displacement Fund, and we've been working with our partners on the ground, including All Ukrainian Credit Union Association. So we are happy to have Olga with us today, and she will share a bit more details about our cooperation. And I think we will have Marcy helping us with the interview. Marcy?
Thank you, Alyssa, and welcome, Olga. So thank you for joining us on the 75th anniversary of International Credit Union Day. Tell us a little bit about AUCUA and what your team is currently working on.
Пані Ольга, рада вітати вас. Сьогодні у нас чудовий день, ми відзначаємо 75-ту річницю Міжнародного дня кредитних спілок. Чи не могли б ви нам трошки розказати про ВАКС і над чим зараз працює ваша команда?
Вітаю всіх. Ну, по-перше, я трошки скажу про ВАКС. На сьогодні наша асоціація налічує 54 кредитні спілки. Активи становлять близько 60% від загальних активів ринку. І хочу відзначити, що четверо наших членів знаходяться на окупованих територіях. Це дуже для нас важливо, тому що ми досі віримо в нашу перемогу і сподіваємось, що вони повернуться до роботи і будуть разом з нами. Що стосується роботи, над чим працює програма, наша асоціація, то це є декілька напрямків. Це законодавча адвокація. 1 січня вступають в дію два закони: закон про фінансові послуги і кредитні спілки. І ми маємо допомогти кредитним спілкам адаптувати нові вимоги, і ми співпрацюємо з Національним банком.
So first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. A couple of words about the association. We have 54 member credit unions, and they possess 60% of all the credit union market assets. I have to say that we have still 4 our member credit unions which are on the occupied territories. Unfortunately, we believe in Ukraine's victory in this existential war, and we hope that they will be soon with us and will be able to resume operations on the territories under Ukrainian control. So in terms of what we do as an association right now in this difficult times, we have several areas of work. First of all, of course, it's advocacy, and it's providing assistance to our members in terms of adoption of new requirements. We have 2 new laws that come into force starting from the 1st January 2024. One of them is the new law on credit unions, and another is the updated law on financial services. So we are going to help our members to adjust to these new regulatory and legal requirements. And of course, we continue to cooperate with our country's regulator to make this happen with the National Bank of Ukraine.
І також на найближчі півроку у нас є наступний напрямок. Ми співпрацюємо спільно з проєктом КЕП і Міжнародною фундацією кредитних спілок в частині оновлення програмного забезпечення для кредитних спілок. Тому що з 1 січня змінюється у нас нормативно-правові акти по звітності, і якраз оновлення програмного забезпечення допоможе кредитним спілкам ефективно впровадити вимоги нормативно-правових актів.
And a second big area of our work, and we do that in cooperation with the Credit for Agricultural Producers Project, as well as the Worldwide Foundation for Credit Unions. As an association, we work right now with our pilot group of credit unions to help them implement the new core banking system and have a more advanced software to operate. This is very important in terms of how they serve their clients, but also in terms of meeting the regulations which are going to come into force starting from January 1st, 2024. And this, of course, new core banking system and new software will help them meet the regulations.
So Olga, as the president of AUCUA, you've worked closely with the World Council and the Worldwide Foundation for Credit Unions on 5 of our programs that support Ukrainian credit unions. So a simple but big question, why is a strong global credit union movement important to you?
Ольга, ви як президент асоціації дійсно співпрацювали із Сусідньою радою, з фундацією над 5 нашими програмами підтримки українських спілок. Почнемо з такого простого, але важливого запитання. Чому для вас важливий сильний глобальний рух кредитних спілок?
Ну, це очевидні речі. Сильний глобальний рух – це, перш за все, це сильні кредитні спілки. І, напевно, якби рух кредитних спілок був не такий сильний, він би не набув таких масштабів і не було присутня така велика кількість людей з різних куточків країни. Ви розумієте, що в єдності наша сила, яка проявляється у взаємодопомозі, підтримці, адвокації, обміні досвідом. Ми дуже часто в нашій роботі використовуємо досвід наших колег. Ми наводимо приклади при співпраці з регулятором, що відбувається і як відбувається в інших країнах. І саме завдяки підтримці такого масштабного кредитного руху українські кредитні спілки працюють і, я впевнена, будуть працювати і далі.
Well, thank you for this question, and this is well, this seems quite obvious to me, says Olga. Well, the strong global credit union movement means we have strong credit unions, and if our global credit union movement was not that strong, potentially we wouldn't have such a big impact in the world and such a big penetration rate in different countries. United, we are stronger, and I'm always absolutely sure that when we help each other, when we support each other, when we advocate for each other, and when we exchange experience, this brings a lot of positive in our work and in our growth. And in Ukraine, we very often use the experience of our foreign colleagues. We provide different examples, how people do different things in other countries, and how the regulation is happening in other countries. And especially thanks to the support of the global credit union movement, Ukrainian credit unions continue to work, and we hope will work for long and be prosperous.
Thank you for that. So how has the global credit union movement supported AUCUA and Ukrainian credit unions specifically over the last 18 months?
Ольга, дуже дякуємо. Наступне запитання. Як глобальний рух кредитних спілок підтримував ВАКС і українські кредитні спілки протягом особливо останніх 18 місяців?
Це було щось, можна так сказати, неймовірне і неочікуване для нас. Вся кредитна, міжнародна і кредитна спільнота зібрали велику, на нашу думку, суму коштів і спрямували на допомогу кредитним спілкам і досі спрямовують на допомогу кредитним спілкам. Я можу розділити цю допомогу на 2 частини. Щодо ВАКС. З початку війни не всі члени ВАКС мали можливість сплачувати членські внески, тому що ситуація в кредитних спілках кардинально змінилася, особливо в тих, які були на окупованих територіях, в зоні бойових дій. Відбулася оптимізація витрат, відбулося звільнення працівників. Це безумовно вплинуло на фінансовий стан кредитних спілок. І в той же час робота ВАКС напряму залежить від членських внесків. Активи в кредитних спілках впали, і внески зменшились, і це дуже вплинуло на фінансовий стан ВАКС. Ми розуміли кредитні спілки, але ми не знали, як вирішити цю проблему. І в цей момент нам на допомогу прийшла Всесвітня фундація кредитних спілок і Національна федерація кредитних спілок Кореї. Ми дуже вдячні за вашу підтримку.
First of all, this was something incredible and really unexpected. We saw that the global community, individuals, legal entities, foundations, associations, they managed to provide we think a very big amount of money to help us and to help our movement, our credit union movement in Ukraine. So we can basically say as an association that we had two areas of support. One of them was directly to the association. We understand that when the full-scale invasion started, not all members of the association had an opportunity to continue their operations, and of course the assets of credit unions decreased. So we understand that they needed to optimize their costs too, and as an association we depend a lot on our members' financial condition, and of course we depend on the membership fees, and we could understand our members who were not able to pay the membership fees, and that was not the priority for them at the time. And that's where the Worldwide Foundation for Credit Unions, together with the National Credit Union Federation of Korea, stepped in and provided us with financial support so that we can continue, despite the awful situation, that we can continue supporting our credit unions, and so that they could have some time to resolve their financial problems.
А щодо підтримки кредитних спілок, то тут було декілька етапів. Перший етап – це був термінові потреби, і потім було на відбудову і на відновлення діяльності. В рамках першого етапу термінових потреб кредитні спілки отримали фінансову допомогу на покриття операційних витрат, на альтернативні джерела живлення. Також було надана допомога тим кредитним спілкам, у яких члени були військовослужбовці, і було покриття відсотків по кредитах. Після підриву Каховської ГЕС кредитні спілки, дві кредитні спілки, які опинилися в цьому районі, вони отримали гранти на придбання води, ємності для зберігання води. Ну і сьогодні, як я говорила, є другий етап підтримки, який реалізується шляхом оновлення програмного забезпечення. Безумовно, проблем в кредитних спілках багато, і я сподіваюся, що найближчим часом також будуть реалізовані інші програми, які будуть стосуватися відновлення кредитних спілок, і також, можливо, такого напрямку, як приєднання маленьких груп.
Well, and the second area of support, that's basically to credit unions, individual credit unions, our members. So there were programs of immediate support in 2022, and thanks to the Worldwide Foundation, our credit unions received partial compensation of their operational costs at the time. They were also able to purchase alternative power sources at the time when in winter we had the shelling of critical infrastructure in Ukraine. In addition, there was a program that was related to those credit unions that provided loans to servicemen, and there was partial compensation of interest rates for servicemen at the time. And as the conflict is evolving, and we have a lot of new, unfortunately, challenges coming, again, the Worldwide Foundation would step in when it's needed. And after the Kakhovka Dam in the south of Ukraine was destructed, two credit unions, our members, were heavily affected and didn't have access to drinking water and water storage facilities. And that's where the Worldwide Foundation provided a grant for them to purchase water and water storage equipment. The second stage that we have moved on, mostly in 2023, is to provide more long-term or medium-term support to the credit unions to help them recover, again, in cooperation with the Worldwide Foundation. So as already said, we do some software and core banking system update together with our credit unions. And we understand that there will be more challenges, and we hope that we will have other programs coming in for the long-term recovery of credit unions, and they will have, some of them will have individual needs, especially those which are located in the territories mostly affected by the combat. And in addition, we understand that there will be a certain trend of mergers in Ukraine, and we hope that there will be programs to support those credit unions who would like to unite their efforts and continue to serve their members.
So last question, one more question, Olga. So today we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of International Credit Union Day. The foundation's Members Helping Members campaign, we're using that to raise funds. Those funds go to support programs like the Ukrainian Credit Union Displacement Fund. And we're wondering, what is Ukraine doing to celebrate International Credit Union Day?
Ольга, останнє запитання. Дякуємо дуже за відповіді. Ми сьогодні відзначаємо Міжнародний день кредитних спілок. Говоримо про кампанію фундації під назвою «Члени, які допомагають членам». І в рамках цієї кампанії фундація збирає кошти якраз на підтримку таких програм, які реалізуються для підтримки руху кредитних спілок в Україні разом з вами. Поділіться, будь ласка, як ВАКС відзначає Міжнародний день кредитних спілок цього року?
Ну, зазвичай ми організовуємо різні прес-конференції, круглі столи, запрошуємо представників регулятора, інших державних органів. Але це було в ті часи, коли не було війни. В минулому році в цей день ми, можна так сказати, не відзначали, тому що ми привітали один одного, але такого святкування не було, тому що були постійні обстріли, не було електрики. Всі ви пам'ятаєте, що це почалось у жовтні. Тому ми листівками привітали. В цьому році ми також привітали, в нас є свої спільні групи, ми привітали один одного, але в країні війна, і якось такого святкування ми не можемо собі дозволити, тому що не можуть наші колеги приїхати на зустріч, тому що іноді це небезпечно.
Well, basically, we would, before the full-scale war, of course, we would do a lot of festivities and celebrations, press conferences, roundtables. We would invite our partners, we would invite the local and governmental authorities. But of course, when the full-scale war started, it changed. And last year, we couldn't celebrate anything at all because there was a lot of shelling and there was a lot of problems with power. So we basically just exchanged some online postcards and messages of support to one another. This year, we can say that we had an online meeting with our members, and credit unions would do some things on the ground with their communities. But again, the mood is a bit different. So we wouldn't say we celebrate, we mark the International Credit Union Day in Ukraine. And we hope that we will be able to celebrate in full once the war ends.
We hope that as well. Thank you. Thank you, Olga, for sharing your story with us. It's very inspiring, and we wish you the best. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Dominique.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Before I share my screen again to give you guys an opportunity to answer another question with us, I'm going to preface this question a little bit. You saw it earlier. It is, what does ICU Day mean to you? But now that you've heard these beautiful stories from these lovely people today and had the opportunity to really understand a little bit more about what ICU Day means to other people, I would like you to take the time to draw what ICU Day means to you now, essentially. How did you participate in this? How do credit unions do global good? I'll share my screen and give you that QR code again so that you may begin drawing. And there it is. And you will see that question pop up as well once again. When you have created a drawing that you feel fits best with this, you can actually click done and do another drawing as well if you'd like. A lot of people feel differently. A lot of people have different opportunities to share how they're feeling in different ways to really represent ICU Day. There's not really one correct or wrong answer for this, right? So feel free to give us as many drawings as you feel is correct. I'll go ahead and put this away now and let you guys start drawing. Earlier, when I gave you guys this question at the beginning, I saw a lot of things like hearts and smiles and thumbs up, very real answers, but they were simple because ICU Day was just something to be excited about. But now that we have these stories in our background and we know a little bit more about what credit unions really do across the world, I hope that gives you an opportunity to draw a little bit more of now the deeper feelings that you get with these stories and what ICU Day now means to you. So let's take a look at some of these here. Wow, lots and lots of beautiful drawings, lots of colors. Look at that. Every color chosen, P6. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for your drawings here. Global, an amazing option. Global good. Absolutely a beautiful world to represent everybody. More smiling faces, happiness. Absolutely. Opportunities, people helping people, cooperative support, inspiration. Absolutely. These are absolutely beautiful and wonderful words. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and let you guys continue drawing and leave this image open for you guys to see people, what they are drawing, so that you can add yours to the list here. And I will hand it off to Mike to let him finish up and wrap up for the day.
Thank you, Dominique. And again, thanks to you and Play with a Purpose for being with us here today to make our Global Connections webinar much more interactive with our colleagues across the globe. Thanks again.
You're very welcome.
Before I close out, I want to give a special thanks to all the team members behind the scenes of the Worldwide Foundation and the World Council that make this webinar happen. Cassie Schrader, Jack Van Cowenberg, Rachel Miller, Marcy Chaco. Thank you so much for your continued support in making this webinar engaging, inspiring. We want to thank our beneficiaries from Peru and Ecuador, Abby from the EIP project. Thank you for helping to coordinate those efforts. To Alyssa Stetstitchen and Olga, thank you so much for bringing Ukraine's message to the Global Connections webinar today. And one final shameless plug, you know, every dollar matters. Of course, the Worldwide Foundation continues to do global good because of your support. And the International Credit Union Day is not over. So if you have the ability and are willing, please do consider making a donation, or if your institution wants to make a donation as part of your International Credit Union Day celebrations today, I would encourage you to click the link in the chat that Cassie has put in the chat box. And we appreciate everyone's continued support of the work that we do. Stay safe, be well, and thank you again for helping us grow and sustain credit unions around the world. Enjoy the International Credit Union Day celebrations, celebrate the 75th anniversary, and we'll be in touch soon.
Bye.